go into the gun store around here.
Because no one else is dumb enough to open one. Go to A's.
Yeah. What would they give me for these 2 regular blaster pistols?
What's the cost of a regular blaster pistol typically?
400.
They'll give you 100 to buy it off of you back per blaster pistol. And the one behind it is a human named Shan Aldel of Aldel's Arms and Armor. I'll
do.
Oh, and just in case you feel like robbing the place at some point or something, there is a Trandoshan who's like kind of like a heavy who going in. He's wearing the syndicate that you know kind of works there. They tend to hire out for like their leadership is it's like a ethno syndicate, like it's all run by one family of the same species, but almost everyone who's like works for the syndicate is not part of that family. They're just like the upper echelon. They hire out for everything else. So this Trandoshan doesn't have like any markings or anything like that, but the person behind the counter wears like a shirt, like a kind of like a almost like an imperial style like buttoned up middle part kind of shirt that has like the little emblem on the front of it as an employee of there. And then this Trandoshan heavy that you know his name is Sark. Sark and Shan Aldel.
I'll do. I'll sell both those blaster pistols for 100 apiece, and buy a heavy blaster pistol instead, which will leave me at 215 credits, which I will probably use for just a few pieces of basic equipment. Here in a moment. I just need to erase all of these various things from my character sheet and replace them with same range, more damage, same number of hard points, same crits. Okay. It's pretty much just one more damage. Which is not nothing.
It's not nothing.
Stuff that it would be good for a bounty hunter to have eventually. Stuff like... Ooh. I want to pick up a lockbreaker. Well, yeah, or a restraining bolt. In case I have to go after a droid.
Okay. Anything that's on there that's not like a hard thing to find, you'll be able to find at some shop around here for...
Yeah, and that's not restricted or especially rare.
If for whatever reason there is something more restricted, we can start making checks because you can get just about anything in this scumbag moon if you know the right people to talk to.
I'll do a data pad as well.
Okay.
Especially if I eventually want to start going after Imperial bounties. I'm probably going to need one. Don't have enough for a toolkit yet. So 2 of those were 110. Leaving me with 105. Maybe I should just have a little bit of walking around money until I decide on something else I want to buy. I'll start with those.
Okay.
Because I can't afford any armor yet, and I can't afford a heavier like blaster rifle or anything yet.
All right.
Did I just move that camera by accident?
Possibly. I still look fairly centered on it, so okay. I'm not concerned if you did. I think we're just fine. You just see more of this mountain of shit on the shelf here, maybe. All right. So spend some of your hard-earned credits, get some upgrades, get some new equipment. The next day, going around doing that. Are you doing anything else out and about in town?
Probably not. I'll probably just help out around the shipyard for the time being.
Coming back to the shipyard, it's burnt to the ground. Just kidding. You can see that.
Garo, I'm going to run away and be a bounty hunter over my burnt carcass.
Over my burnt carcass. You can see that they're like the front desk is not being manned right now, and inside the shipyard, you can see that there's like a couple of like heavier freight land speeders that are leaving through the like main entryway into here, and what looks like a like freshly dropped off hunk of metal that Garo is overlooking at the moment. It's currently like on like a hover sled, like a huge hover sled. Like this is a somewhere between a X-wing and Millennium Falcon sized hover sled. Like there's probably a starship on top of this thing that has a big tarp over the top of it. And you see him like looking at it with like a ton of pride in his face as you walk in.
Who'd you steal or swindle this one from?
Swindle. And he says, one of the Shardo brothers, idiots, this thing is a work of art. Have you ever heard of the aggressor?
That's what a lot of my arrest reports tend to say.
Go ahead and roll me intelligence and intellect. We'll call it... I doubt you have any intellect skills.
Like the knowledge skills?
Yeah.
No, none of them.
So just an intellect for you. It might be, not lore, probably just core worlds. It'll be easy.
One success.
You've heard of the aggressor. It's a fighter, a type of like starship fighter that is pretty well known because it's like a decent sized one, not like just a cockpit. It like has room to be in, but is like incredibly fast. You know, it's also fairly like what you've heard of it is that there's like doesn't have the best maneuverability because of its speed, and there's ways to kind of counteract that give it more like response, but people have been known to like pass out at the wheel of it because of those things. Like people have like altered them before to be able to like really take them for a spin and then crashed and died because they literally went unconscious with how much G-force was applied to them.
I know a Doug pilot who might be all about this thing.
And he kind of like brings it into one of his like larger bays and uncovers it, and I guess I could probably find a picture of it.
I could probably find a picture on it too.
If you haven't already, I have one up if you'd like to see it.
Well, there's an Aggressor-class Star Destroyer.
It is not that. It is the Aggressor-class Assault Fighter.
Aggressor Assault Fighter. They're weird looking. They're kind of neat, but they're weird looking.
Mm-hmm. Kind of unique.
I find the sort of leg wing things particularly strange.
Cool. All right.
It does look a bit like. It looks a bit like a, at least to me, like a old Republic relic.
It's it's a fairly it's not like an ancient ship or anything like that. It's not a brand new top of the line sort of fancy ship, but it's a fairly well known older style of fighter that's not very common. They're fairly uncommon to find. And like as he kind of like pushes the button, like functionally the back door drops. It seems to be running. It has power to it somewhat, and like it opens up into a like stripped bare interior. Like clearly there's spot here. There's like kind of like a 2-room setup and stuff of an interior of this thing, and it's been like welded down to the metal plating on the outside. Like this thing it's a husk of a ship on the like actual quarters and stuff inside. A very blank slate on the back, and then like the 1 room forward. Similarly, the cockpit is set up and has like the seat and controls and stuff in it. But this thing has been like hollowed out.
I hope you looked in here before you bought it, Garo.
He kind of like looks around and he's like, I didn't, to be honest with you, but the price I got this thing for and how much I'm going to be able to flip it for, this is going to be an easy time. I just want to make sure it runs. Whether it does or not, I got a really good deal, so I'm not too heartbroken about it. And he kind of like comes in.
Stand back somewhere over here behind something.
Not behind the thrusters if you're smart. And he kind of clambers his way up into the cockpit of this thing. And you can see that it's got like 2 seats up front. It probably has like a pilot, co-pilot sort of setup. And he clambers up into it, and you kind of step away and you hear like... And then there's not like a... like smoke shoots out of one of the side vents of this thing and a panel falls off.
Honestly, it made it farther than I thought it would.
He kind of comes out.
I'm just impressed the door open.
You see like the 2 lower hands on his hips. One of them kind of laying down by side, and the other scratching his head. And he's kind of like looking around up at this thing. And he says, "Nothing that a little mechanic work can't fix, I'm sure of it."
You always say that there's nothing a little mechanic work can't fix.
Exactly. And this is no different. Let's get to it. And he begins work on it.
I'll help him just to make sure he doesn't blow himself up.
So you have kind of, at this point, 2.5 days before they're expecting you back. Are you willing to spend any of that doing anything besides helping him work on his new prize?
I'm kind of at a point where it's like, I'll probably just, like run a few jobs like this until... Like, I've got a little bit of money, I've got a little bit of equipment, so I'll just kind of run some jobs like this and see where that takes me, and, with the goal of eventually, like, building up all the equipment and like, funds and stuff I need. I don't necessarily feel like I need to just, like...
Rushing in.
Yeah, just, like, hunt around for trouble every day.
Okay.
So... Besides, somebody's got to keep an eye on this crazy old man.
So I'm going to have you give me mechanics checks to assist with him. And I'll have you just do 2 mechanics checks. One will be a average and one will be a hard. Okay. Just tell me what each of the results are.
The average is 3 failures, 1 advantage.
Okay.
Which does not bode well for the hard. The hard is just 1 threat.
Oh, wow. So luckily he's an exceptional mechanic.
That is good.
Oh, wait. That's why that one was insane, because I combined the 2 rolls. That might be a little better. Okay. Lots of threats. So, overall, over the next 2.5 days, you guys don't get this thing flying.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
at all.
No shit.
You feel like progress is made, but it's more like progress is made welding the missing panels back on and like getting some of the parts and pieces that you need, not necessarily installing them. And at the end of it, like basically what you guys come to is that there is a pretty integral part that is burnt out on this, and it's a fairly expensive one. And so he's like, well, we've got the outside of this thing more or less airtight. I'll work
or less airtight.
more. All 4 hands say going. He says with all 4 hands, like more. He's going to work on sourcing the part because again, rare ship, more weird part for it. It might take him a day or 2 to find someone who can track one down. But you guys make some progress.
No, that one goes there, and
That
that one
one
goes
goes
there.
And that's determined at like the evening of that third day.
Well, grab my jacket.
Okay.
Grab my jacket. Grab my stolen speeder.
It was just still there, and no one's come looking for it yet. And he's able to, like, between the two of you, again, this guy fixes bikes for a crime organization. He doesn't give a damn about you stealing that. He helps you get it set up to where, like, the thing will just run. Like, you more or less have, like, the key to it, like, the codes to just, like, go in and it'll turn on for you without you having to hotwire it. You guys get it set up, and you now have a little rust bucket speeder to go around.
It's not fancy, and it's not even really mine.
No. You have the, like, rusted out Ford Pinto of the galaxy here. It'll get you where you're going. It'll get you where you're going.
Well, it just uses to get from point A to point B faster.
Mm-hmm. And so I guess you're going to drive
to
where you said you'd meet them at, I assume.
Besides, I'm fond of it. That cord bled all over the passenger seat.
There is, like, a stain that you can never probably get out of the passenger seat of this. Corrin blood is thickened. Probably green? I'm going to go with green. Corrin blood runs thick. And you can also, like, recognizing the color of the blood on the stain here, you can see that, like, on the street corner near that. You've been in the shop, so you don't know what exactly happened, but there seems to be a kind of fresh, poorly scrubbed up green blood stain on the corner in front of their shop, probably where some sort of example was made of this guy. You don't know exactly or see exactly what happened, but clearly a public example of what happens if you mess with the Comets was done here. And you can see that out front as well, there is a number of members kind of strapping stuff into their bikes and getting ready. And you can see that there is one larger, like, land speeder, like a 4-seater almost. Well, not quite like a cargo or like SUV, but like the 4-door car of space. That you can tell, like, there's the person, it looks like Gil is kind of Gil Horn, is like the son now, Miria. He seems to be there with 2 other gang members, and they're kind of like loading what looks like 2 or 3, or actually probably a total of 4 chests the size of what you saw. So like this is a sizable shipment here of spice. And there seems to be the 4 of those are kind of set up in the back seat there. Gil's in the passenger seat. Someone else is driving, and there's someone sitting back there with them who's kind of going to have like a hand on it. And Khan Haran will come up to you and lumber up to you with the cybernetic leg, and he'll be like, you can take your rust bucket and come with us, or you can hop on the back of one of the bikes. We got a couple extra heavy, and you can see there's like a couple other generic ruffians, not in matching jackets, who are riding on the back of a couple bikes. There's like 3 of them. And there's a total of 5 bikes and this land speeder, and 3 of the bikes that aren't Khan Haran's have someone else on the back of them.
I'll take my rust bucket in case we need to crash it into something or whatever. And if one of the heavies doesn't feel like riding bitch and would rather ride on the passenger seat, he's welcome too.
A guy, there's like another Nikto who like immediately takes you up on the offer, comes over and then like half regrets it when he sees the stain, but still shakes his head like, beggars can't be choosers, and he'll hop into the passenger seat with you.
I mean, the guy whose blood that is survived the whole trip.
He's like, looks at the color, looks at the corner, says, poor bastard. Probably wishes he didn't.
Yeah, probably would have been better if he'd actually gotten squished by something in that droid manufacturing plant. Oh well.
Now everyone's going to kind of, all these like kind of ramshackle Harleys of space roar up, and in looking at like, most of them are just kind of like pretty similar versions of the same style. Like each one, you can tell there's custom work between the paint and the body and stuff of like little adjustments people made. One of the bikers is like a particularly heavy set one, and you can see he's kind of got like a large bucket seat on his. He's like a pretty large set fellow who kind of sits back on it. And you can see that
they're just a organization of speeder bike enthusiasts.
Exactly. It's a club. And Khan Haran has the big old like hanging bars on his, and you can see that he's got like his normally the like accelerate is on the right side, but you can see that he's had a like kit to swap it to the left so that his cybernetic leg is the one that pushes it, and it's got like a really large, heavy-looking presser on it to like roar the engine up.
He really drives with a lead foot.
Anyway, and his roars up loud, and they start taking off. He's kind of at lead, and you can just kind of like him, two of the bikes, the two speeder, like car speeders, and then two more of the bikes at the back. As you guys kind of move on, and he's kind of taking the lead and steers through this and into kind of deep into that manufacturing district and into kind of a back alleyway, and kind of pulls it up to a stop. And you can see that there's a larger, nicer looking like car speeder. It's kind of like a covered one. That's parked up ahead. That seems to be running, but there's no one like out in front of it or anything. Kind of pulls up to a stop, and you see he kind of like stops and looks, kind of like leans, drops his hands down, leans kind of expectantly, waiting for someone to like. Seems like he's expecting someone to kind of come out of that. And anybody peeking over the edge of rooftops or anything? Give me a perception.
What difficulty?
We'll call it an average. And you have like dark vision, right?
Yep.
There'd be setback dice, a setback die for that if you didn't have the dark vision that you have. But you get to ignore it because of your look with your special eyes.
2 successes.
2 successes. You kind of glancing around, kind of trying to find like you're like trying to see if you can spot anybody, and you swear you like see something up on the top of it, and then you definitely see something as like a bolt comes from a rooftop, and you see it nails Gil in the chest in this thing next to him. He grabs at it and like keels over, and then it's going to be a cool check.
Nice.
Jesus.
Well, that can't be good.
What did you get?
2 success, 1 advantage.
So you will be going second. They got 2 success, 2 advantage on just 2 green dice. That's pretty crazy. So the bad guys get to go first. Well, the worst guys. The not you guys. So you can see then, like, kind of after this first shot goes off, there's a number of people up on rooftops nearby that start shooting down at you guys, and another couple that, like, kind of come tumbling out of nearby alleyways. And looking at them, you can see they are all, like, if the gang that you came here with is a biker gang with the jackets, like, these guys are, like, a punk rock band fan group. Like they're all wearing clothing that has that like Nexaclaw emblem on it, but it's not like matching leather jackets. It's like some of them have it like painted onto a shirt, or some of them have it like tattooed clearly and stuff like that. They're more like generic ruffian looking, but they all have that emblem somewhere on them at a glance. And a couple of them are coming out, and you will have 1 shot coming at you. There'll be a number of other shots going at other people, but... And you can all... give me a easy perception as well.
There we go. Took me a second to unlock my phone. Easy perception. 1 success, 1 advantage.
Okay. You can also see that there are what looks like 2... heavies, I would say. 2 people who are kind of rushing up that appear to be wielding like more or less like metal bars or staffs that seem to be kind of making a beeline for the speeder that you know has the spice in it. And they both, like, one of them is a Trandoshan. That's like a pretty big stocky Trandoshan. The other is a human, but a big stocky human. And the one that takes a blast at you from a rooftop will do so with ranged light. this and this, and he will have the setback die because he is a human. But he does hit. You have 2 threats to spend.
Oh. What isn't that neat?
And how much soak do you have?
4.
4. So you will take 3.
Okay.
He got a success and 2 advantage, so 6, 7, and you reduce 4 of it. So you'll take 3 wounds, but he also got 2 threat that you can spend.
He suffers 1 strain and falls unconscious. I'll just give myself a blue on my next check.
Okay.
3 damage.
And you can see the other 2, like the 2 kind of heavies, make it up to that speeder on this round. And one of the kind of, they're coming in from the side that the driver would be on. So like each of them, like one's next to the guy in the passenger seat, one's next to the guy in the driver's seat, and they're both going to try and bludgeon them basically. And I'll see if they're successful. But what do you just gave yourself the 2 blue?
Or the 1 blue.
The 1 blue. Let me see what they're...
If he'd gotten 3, he would have fallen over. That'd have been fun. Which, like, I totally understand, especially in, like, closer range combat. Some of the, like, advantage and threat stuff makes some sense, but there's also just, like, the active character falls prone. So it's like, he just, like, pops up and shoots and just, like, slips over.
Flips backwards. It's probably more useful for you to be better. So running up, you can see the guy with, like, the... Trandoshan with like the larger like long staff almost like heaves it up and swings it down on the guy in the passenger seat and just caves his head in. The other guy comes up and swings at the guy in the driver, the guy in the driver, and like he like brings his arm and it hits his arm and you can hear kind of a nasty crunch noise and like it definitely hurts him but it doesn't wipe him out. And then it's you can go after that because your friends are last.
Of course they are.
Your enemies are first, you're second, and your friends are last, as is tradition.
I will... Yeah, but except normally I'm last. That's not true. I always joke that the only good time I can roll is initiative. And then enemies still roll like... It's like yeah, 21! Re-roll.
22!
There's nothing worse than
roll... 23. 24.
There's nothing feels worse than rolling, like... into the 20s on a contested check or initiative or something and hearing re-roll. Oh, man.
You're like, that's the best I can roll on this.
I'm going to...
it's a tie.
I'm going to take a shot at the... one of the... let's do the human heavy. That's at the...
Up at the... Trying to beat the driver down? Yeah. Okay.
So, what's the range?
From you, you're in your driver's seat and they were next... You're... That'd be close range. You will be shooting past your friend. So if you fail with enough threats, you might shoot your friend. The driver with that.
2 success, 2 advantages.
Okay.
So
how much damage is that with the heavy blaster pistol?
9 damage with the heavy blaster pistol.
He will soak 4 of it and take 5, which is his wound threshold. So you kind of shoot just over this guy's shoulder and it nails the guy in the head and he kind of tumbles back dead.
Well, I can't give him a setback die to his next check then, on account of how he's dead. I'll give the heavy next to me a blue die to his next check.
Okay. And that's into your turn, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Your friends will return some fire. So, an exchange of gunfire happens. He specifically is going to shoot at that other heavy, the Trandoshan, your guy in your vehicle. He takes note of what you take note of and tries to help you in your effort. So he'll use his blue against that and that and this. Just a failure. So he kind of turns and draws out what looks like a normal blaster pistol. He kind of aims and he shoots and it goes just over the shoulder of the Trandoshan there. And with that, there's like an exchange of fire. A couple, like one or two of the heavies on the backs of the bikes go down, and you can see like a guy tumble out of a roof and a guy in an alleyway fall over dead. It seems to be like about even between the two gangs firing at each other. And then the driver is going to make a specific shot at the Trandoshan as well, since he's going for the spice. That against that. Just a shit ton of threat. So like he's gonna turn. He's gonna like turn and duck under to like blast, and you see like he turns and aims it, and this Trandoshan like swings up with the staff, and it snaps the end of his blaster off. And he like he's like looks frantic.
Wow.
And then it's their turn. And the Trandoshan, I guess, will just go first, and he'll try and swing this thing down on the driver, and crack his head in too. Should be two success and an advantage. So this guy who's already like gonna hit, he's like kind of swings across with this thing, and it breaks in, like looks up as the staff comes back around, and it like his head twists hard, and he goes limp against the thing of this, and then this Trandoshan's going to grab him by the back of his jacket and pull him out of the driver's seat.
Oh, well, that's good. That saves me having to do that.
And that's going to be the end of his turn. But it looks like he's probably going to try and hop in this thing and drive off with the goods. And then I'll roll for the other people around. There will be one more coming, like shooting at you. But you'll have the setback die, and he's at a distance. He misses, and you have 3 threat to spend.
Pro.
As a blaster shot like hits the ground next to your speeder.
The other 3 threat option is the active character, being the guy who fires a shot, grants the enemy a significant, being me, a significant advantage in the ongoing encounter, such as accidentally blasting the controls to a bridge that the active character was planning to use for his escape or something like that.
Okay.
I'd kind of like to do that, but what exactly do you want that to mean? Like, he doesn't have to hit the Trandoshan necessarily, but...
Probably not Trandoshan, but, like, would you want him to, like, hit the engine block of that speeder so he can't drive away in it? Or...
No, because I want to drive away in it.
Okay.
Like...
I guess
could it give... Or could it even just, like, land close enough to the Trandoshan that it, like, kind of... Like, even if it doesn't do any damage, but it kind of stumbles him, so I get a blue on the next attack, or he gets a setback die on his next check, or something like that?
Yeah, I'll say that the blast... Like, basically, because your turn next, this blast is going to hit the ground kind of next to... in between the 2 speeders, and the Trandoshan is going to kind of look, and it was like kind of close where the Trandoshan was, and he's going to kind of lean up out of the speeder and yell something, or like up over the speeder and yell something at the guy who shot, and it's going to give you a clearer shot on him.
Okay, I'll take that. Is that the end of their turn?
Yeah, you can go after that.
Is Gil still in that car?
He is still in the passenger seat. He doesn't seem to be moving at the moment. You're not sure if he's alive or not.
Well... Sorry, fella. He might just be dead. We don't know. Let's shoot the Trandoshan.
Okay. Shoot it.
2 success, 2 advantages. So
All
that's
right.
another 9 damage.
9 exactly. Okay. So it kind of like boom, he gets ear holed and tumbles over dead.
Yeah, and I wanna try and I mean, yelling at everybody to get out of here, like
try and run over to the speeder.
like
okay. Are you like trying to go around to get to it, or are you hopping over Gil to get to the driver's seat? How are you going about?
Can I do a sweet hood slide?
Roll me an easy agility.
Uh-oh. Oh wait, no, I have 3 in agility. Haha. 1 success, 3 advantages.
I'll say you can do like a hood slide. You kind of slide and you grab the like windshield on the way, so it like swings you around and you land in the seat next to him with the advantages. That'll be your like movement. You won't be able to pull out yet, but you're ready to go.
Attack and cool. Yeah, I'm just yelling the whole time, just yelling at everybody to get out of here.
Okay.
God, get your people out of here, damn it.
And it seems like more fire comes from the enemies around, but none seem to land. And Khan will... and he's holding like a heavy blaster pistol too. Khan will kind of like look around the situation, glare up at the roof, and he's going to take a shot. And and you hear like a and the guy comes tumbling off the roof, and then he kind of turns. You hear like, and he's like, "Let's get the fuck out of here!" And he starts swerving around to leave, and the people around, you see them kind of like, everyone else kind of just like tucks a blaster and they focus on getting out of here. And just a couple bikes start pulling out. And it'll come back around to the beds. One more is going to take a shot at you before you have a chance to Jitfo. A failure, but a triumph. Overall, he failed still. But so he's going to like, he blasts at you. And it kind of hits the engine block of this speeder, and you hear the speeder like...
That do something vital, such as shooting the controls into by blast doors.
So you think that you might need to do something to make this... Like, all of a sudden the controls are not responding, and the speeder seems to be sputtering and starting to want to die down and not go.
Nothing can ever just go right the first time. Partially because it's a tabletop RPG, partially because it's the Edge of the Empire, and partially because we're a bunch of scumbags, so we don't deserve it.
And most importantly, because you're rolling.
Because I'm rolling, it's true. I don't roll well. Do I think I'd be able to get it up with a quick mechanics check, or
you think it's possible?
Well, here's where I would use a destiny point.
Oh, we forgot to roll those at the beginning. Let's say roll a destiny die real quick. Let's see what the pool is.
One dark side.
I'll roll one as well, because you're the only person. One light side.
Oh.
Would you like to spend it?
What's the difficulty going to be?
It's going to be a hard mechanics check.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to even stand a chance.
Okay.
That's not great.
There's a chance. It's not terrible.
It's not great. 2 advantages.
2 advantages. I'll say for the sake of this that you're going to be able to get it back up and running, but it takes you your entire round to do it. You're not able to do it quickly, so you're going to have to endure another round of assault first.
That's fine. They've missed most of the time that they've shot at me.
And now that you're trying to get out of there with the spice, there's going to be 2 shots coming at you.
I figured.
Before you
I'm kind of surprised they didn't shoot at me more than once last time.
The first one is a straight nothing. The second one is a failure, but with 3 advantages. He shoots the engine block too. No, he's going to give you a setback die. And so you'll have a black on your next check. And I assume you're trying to just get the hell out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Go and give me a piloting planetary.
A planeting check.
It'll be a easy one, but with a setback die. As you're getting fired at, trying to swerve this thing around and get out of here.
That is agility. 2 success, 1 advantage. You
swoop around, and the like side of the speeder checks one of the guys, and he flies back in the alley, and you gun it out of there, and the bikes leave with you. And you guys Jitfo with the spice still intact. And Gil on the passenger seat.
Yeah, nothing lost, nothing gained, except for maybe Gil.
Except for maybe Gil and a couple of heavies. It seems like, you...
I did lose a stolen...
You lost your stolen speeder, and 2 bikers did die. The 2 in the vehicle with Gil also were both killed. They are very dead and left behind. I guess there's the one guy still dead in the back seat.
Right.
And then pulling out and getting around, like, you're able to take a look. You are no med droid, but this man is dead. You think that Gil did not survive the blast.
Damn. His mom ain't gonna be happy. Or she'll be very happy. I don't
buy a new clone.
I know literally nothing about their relationship, so this could go either way. I just assume she won't be happy. Damn. Well, there goes my top choice for who sold us out. Who was it? I don't know. I assume it was Gil.
Probably Gil.
I have no evidence.
Name like Gil. So you guys rush out of there, getting back to the kind of hideout, headquarters, whatever, clubhouse. best term for it probably. And everyone kind of like rushes around. The spice seems to all be intact and good. They kind of check that before they check Gil, if you're honest. But they do then immediately check on Gil, and it's clear he's dead. And Khan kind of like picks him up and like it's very much like the thump back into the passenger seat, and he crosses his arm and shakes his head, and he's like, Miria is not gonna be happy. I'm not fucking happy. He kind of looks to the kind of Gamorrean front man on the clubhouse comes up, and he's like, grab Gil. He looks at a couple of other bikers, and he's like, grab the spice. And he turns and looks to you, and he says, good job getting that out of there. Might be best you hang out front here. I'll go talk to Miri and break the news.
Yeah, I figure this is a little bit more gang business than it is my business.
He says, I'll be out in a second. I'm sure we'll still have some payment for you. Just give us a moment. And the bikers seem to all kind of gather up, grab the spice, and head inside.
I don't know. Sit on the hood that's got a hole in it of this speeder.
I mean, that's a very cool picture. Like, you're just kind of like sitting there on the edge of it, and there's like a hole in the hood with like a little bit of smoke coming out of it.
I've been shot a little bit. Take off my poor leather jacket that's got a hole in it. Leather jackets just don't survive well in Star Wars.
They don't. They really don't.
For a series with arguably the coolest like swath of leather jackets, like there are more cool leather jackets in Star Wars than a lot of other.
I mean, you could
series.
make an argument for like a Sons of Anarchy or something like that, but those are all basically the same jacket because it's all like just biker jackets. And as far as like unique and different cool leather jackets, I think Star Wars is, if not the top, close to the top of the list.
Everybody has a cool leather jacket.
And, I mean, it won't take a perception check to hear a very sad, but more so pissed, shouting conversation going on in there. Like, oh, what?
Well, I'm staying out of it.
Fucking scuzzballs! I'll bleed them dry! And then emotions calm, conversation happens. The dejected Khan Haran comes out, lumbers out, looking like, oh gosh, and he's gives some payment to each of the other heavies. You can tell that it's probably not a ton, and probably less than what was agreed on, since the job wasn't successfully done. He's like, I was able to talk her into a little extra for you making sure the spice got out of there, but still not much for sticking your neck out there. It's what.
It's a risky round.
It's what can be done. I think that there's going to be a response here, and a response that a bounty hunter might be useful for. If you want to come back in a day or two, wouldn't be surprised if there's some more work for you. And he's going to hand you a bag of 40 credits.
Well, something.
It looks like the other guys probably got 10 to 20.
Well, if anything else comes up, you know where to find me. Be working on Garo's pet project, probably. Unless it kills us. If it kills us, sorry, I won't be around. Blame him.
Let's be honest. If anyone's going to make the mechanics check that's so bad it blows you all up,
it's me. Yeah, but it'll be his fault for buying the damn thing.
Fair enough.
He put the button in front of me to push.
I mean, how can he expect you not to press it?
Who can we blame? Who do we blame when a player character stabs himself with the fuck you magical dagger? That's like
we blame
the
Tristan.
linchpin of the whole campaign. The guy who did it or the DM for giving us access to it that early?
That's fair. It's Koskin's fault.
It's mostly Tristan's fault.
But if anyone should know better, it's all of us than to have anything like that accessible to Tristan in a campaign.
Yeah.
He's immediately going to do the chaotic thing.
There was no hesitation to it at all.
Zero.
Either.
Stab myself.
Well, I guess I walk home.
Okay.
Well, I suppose it went better than I expected it would. Maybe. Not by much. Wasn't really expecting Gil to die, but you know. Look at how they massacred my boy.
Look what they've done to my boy.
It just weird two things to combine there.
I mean, both are crime families, more or less.
Yeah. It's all right, boy.
All right. So yeah, what you doing? Now you get back late that night, beat up, and you're welcome to get a night's sleep, I guess.
I guess that's the plan.
And after like a restful night's sleep, you will recover 1 wound automatically.
That was the thing. It's like I didn't lose much in that fight. I got hit for 3, and I had 15. So,
pretty stocky boy.
Like that could have gone a lot worse for me. I mean, we've seen combats go much worse.